Welcome back to COVID Computer Camp, guys. Today we're finishing off our Robot Hunter game. I'm really excited. We're going to do just a couple of tweaks to the astronaut to control his shooting, so he's not spamming his laser beams. We're going to make it possible for him to die today too. So we're going to make a collision event that makes him go ah and fade away. And then we're going to add the creepy flashlight effect that is going to make it extra scary. And then we're also going to add the ammo box that you have to chase to get new ammunition. So lots to do today. We're going to start off inside the bullet sprite here. We're going to fix this problem with our bullets spamming like crazy. We only have 5 pieces of ammo to start the game, so we definitely don't want to blow our whole ammo supply just by hitting the space key once. So we're actually going to get rid of the space key entirely, and we're going to make it so that we can shoot with a left click. I'm going to do that over inside the astronaut, but first we have to get rid of this piece of temporary code we added the other day. So inside, oh, let me go back to our live view here. All right, so we're looking at our bullet sprite now, and you can see that we temporarily added this element here called when space key pressed, create a clone of myself. That's what creates your bullet for you. We don't need that anymore. So yeah, we're gonna create a clone of, hold it. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I just forgot what we were doing here. So let's trash this, and then we can go back to the astronaut, and we're going to start a whole new branch of code here that's going to make the bullets go. So back to the astronaut. Let's grab a green flag now, guys, under events. There we go. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. All right, so the first thing we want to do is, so you guys have been doing shooting games with me before. No, we usually use a little variable called can shoot that's set either to 0 or 1. When it's set to 1, we can shoot. When it's set to 0, it prohibits us from shooting. And that's what's going to stop us from spamming bullets. So I'm not sure if I already created the variable inside this version of the game. Probably not. So let's do that right now. We're going to go create a new variable. So we'll go to our variables button, and we'll click on this big white button here that says make a variable. And we're going to call it can shoot. You can just leave all the defaults here. It doesn't have to, we don't have to change it to a local variable at all. We can just use this globally. So I'm going to go OK. So we're going to set that. Anytime we create a new variable, we have to initialize it. We have to tell it what its initial state is. So we're going to set can shoot to 1 at the beginning. Set can shoot to 1. And that'll tell us the first time we want to shoot a bullet, we'll be able to. We wouldn't want to have a loaded gun that we couldn't fire. Okay, now we're going to start checking to see if we've clicked our mouse key, our mouse button. So I'm going to grab a forever and drag it in there. And then I'm going to grab an if statement. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be true for us to be able to fire our gun. Firstly, we have to be clicking with the mouse button. Secondly, we have to have ammo. And thirdly, we have to have not fired recently. Like, this is where the delay comes in, that can shoot. So we could do this all in one big long if statement, but I'm going to do 2 different if statements here just to keep things a little less confusing inside the code here. So the first thing we're going to need here is we're going to check if the mouse key is pressed and we have enough ammo. So let's grab an AND statement from our operators. I'm going to go to my green operators and grab an equal sign, or no, an AND sign. Sorry about that, an AND sign. There we are. All right, so I'll say if my mouse is pressed down. We find that in our sensing. So let's go to our sense commands. I don't know if we've used this one much. We mostly do keyboard commands in this, but right underneath key space pressed is one here called mouse down question mark. Let me show that to you again, mouse down question mark. Let's drag that down. So that will just answer yes or no, or 0 or 1. So right now it's saying false, which means the mouse is not down. It's impossible to have it down right now while it's reading, so it's always going to report back to to false. Okay, if mouse is down and my ammo is greater than 0, which means I have ammo. So let's grab a greater than sign. We'll go to our operators. And we'll grab this one that says greater than, which has the arrow pointing to the right. So I need to say my ammo. Let's go back to variables. And if my ammo is greater than 0, which means I have ammo, then I'm allowed to shoot. Okay, so I'm going to shrink the screen a little bit because it's getting in my way. All right, now we need another if statement inside that if statement. As I said, we could handle it all in one if statement if we added another and, but I'm just going to simplify things a bit. So another if statement in this one, and this one is we need an equal sign for again. So I'll go back to my operators. We're going to grab an equal sign, and we're going to say if can shoot equals 1. So let's grab a 1 here, and we'll go back to our variables and drag in the can shoot variable. Beautiful. Okay, so if all 3 of these things are true, then we're going to do what's in the middle here. And what are we going to do in the middle? Well, we're going to create a clone, but first thing we're going to do is make sure we can't shoot another bullet again. So we're going to grab our set variable. So we're going to set can shoot to 0. So as soon as we fire our gun, we're going to make it so that we can't fire our gun again until we manually turn can shoot back on again. All right, so now we're going to make our clone, which is our bullet. So let's go back to our control blocks. And remember, at the very bottom of control are the 3 blocks that we use to create our cloning, to create and delete and do stuff to clone. So we're going to grab the one that says create a clone of myself. We usually use the create a clone of myself, but in this case, we are not inside the bullet clone. So we don't want to create a clone of our astronaut, which means we're going to have to change this and say create a clone of our bullet sprite. And our bullet sprite will still know what to do because it has a command saying when I started the clone. So as soon as the clone is made, it'll know what to do. It'll know how to move. All right. Now we also have to change the amount of ammo here. We want our ammo total to go down by 1 every time we shoot. So let's go back to our variables. And we're going to change our ammo by -1. So now we have 1 fewer bullet, and if we get to 0, we won't be able to shoot. Now here's the part where we add the delay. You guys can decide how long you want to leave between bullets. I usually leave a ½ second between shots, which would be 0.5. So I'm going to go to my control blocks, grab the top control block, which is called wait 1 second, and pop it in there. And I'm going to change it to 0.5. And then once we wait that 0.5 seconds, now we can go ahead and shoot again. So we're going to set that variable can shoot back to 1 again. We only wanted it to be set to 0 for just a ½ second to just stop us from spamming that bullet button. So we're going to go set can shoot back to 1, and now we're able to shoot again. Okay, let's launch our game and have a look at this. I'm going to save my file so that you guys can catch up with me if you're lost. File, save. All right, let's maximize our screen and see if I can click with my mouse button. So here's my first zombie. Die, zombie. Ooh, nice. I'm not hearing any sound here, eh? Is my sound disabled, or did I just forget to turn on the sound for my shot? So it's definitely working. I can shoot my bullets. My ammo is at 0. What? So there's still some stuff happening here, eh? Did I never set my ammo to initialize? It looks like maybe I didn't because I have 0 ammo right now. Okay, that's not good. That's not going to help us survive very long. So let's right here inside the code. So let's go back to our astronaut code. And since that appears that I forgot to initialize that, let's initialize it right here in the shooting code. We'll go set ammo. I could have sworn I set the ammo somewhere else. I'm not sure if I deleted it. So we'll set our initial ammo to 5, and that will fix that problem. And then we'll be able to play with actual ammo again. So we will be able to shoot 5 times very quickly, and then we will be out of ammo. How do we get more ammo? Well, we have to go running around this dark and scary map. looking for... Whoa, my game is glitchy today. I'm doing something that's really bugging my computer. All right, but it's working fine. So where did that sound effect go? Are my sound effects turned on? Let's go have a look here. Oh, where's my... I'm in the wrong sprite here. Here's my astronaut. And he should have a... Oh, he doesn't have the zap sound in there as well. Okay, I'm going to have to... So the zap sound is way over inside the bullet sprite. We can only load the sound up in that. I can reload it here, but then you guys at home aren't going to have access to it. Maybe we should just move all of this code over to our bullet sprite. Is there any reason we can't? I'm looking at it here and realizing... There's probably no reason that we can't do this inside the bullet. I'm not sure why we did it inside the astronaut in the first place. It's a global variable. Yeah, let's try that out, guys. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it all over to my bullet sprite. And let's see if that works better. And then we'll have access to that sound effect. That's really the only reason I'm doing it. I'm not going to delete this yet. In case I want to go back, I'll just rip it apart here so that I can't, so it's disconnected. And then we will go back to our bullet sprite here. Actually, I shouldn't shrink this. So back to our bullet sprite. And then we can make the sound effect happen when we shoot as well. So where did that code go that I just copied over? When you drag code from one sprite to another, it usually works nicely. Let me try cleaning up my code, clean up blocks, and see if I can find that. Here it is. So here's my code. I still don't have the sound effect in there, so I'm going to have to add that sound effect right now. So we had the sound working in that other temporary sprite before, and I just haven't added it again. So let's go add it back here again. I should have just done all this in the laser. I'm not quite sure why I didn't. So we're going to drag this inside the shoot loop. We'll make it the first thing that happens here. So it's going to be right underneath if can shoot is equal to 1. We're going to play that laser sound. Let's just double check it again, and then I'll take a little break for a minute here. I still can't hear, eh? Not sure if the volume's turned down. I'm gonna fix this during the break, and we'll see what's going on here, guys. All right, we will be right back. But it looks like the shooting's still working and everything's good. So sorry to lead you astray there, guys. We're back, guys. So we're going to be working on our evil robot sprite now. We have some more work to do. The first thing we have to do is set it up so that the robots can kill us. Right now, when the robots touch us, they don't kill us, but of course they have this electronic disintegrator attached to their hands that will make you disintegrate as soon as they touch you. So we're going to be working on that today. Let's get right to it. My sound is still not working on my computer, and so you're not going to hear any audio out of my Google Chrome today. No big deal for you guys, because your sound should be working at home, but I have no idea what's happening with my computer nowadays. It definitely does not like me today. All right, so we're going to go down to we have one little thing that I forgot to add to this big long block of code in the robot that says when I start as a clone. It goes through all the different stuff that spawns these guys and changes their costumes. There's a whole bunch of code here that we've done in the last couple of days. Right at the end, if your guy's dead, it will delete this clone. And right above that, we have to change the number of robots on the screen and make sure that when we kill one, it keeps track of that. Remember that when we create new robots, it does it on a timer so that the more robots on the screen, the slower they spawn. So in order for that to work, Scratch has to keep track of how many robots are on the screen. So let's go to our variables. We're going to grab a variable that says change robot count by -1 and put it right above delete this clone. So change robot count by -1, and that will help Scratch keep track of how many robots are on the screen. Okay, we're staying on the robot now. Now we have to get to the part where we're going to kill the player. So we've already got a block here that says when I started the clone, and we're going to start editing that one, not this one. There's a second item here that says when I started the clone, randomize edge position. Can you guys find that block? We're going to be editing that one now. So let me move this stuff out of the way to make some room. So this is the block. Oh, I tried to delete that by accident, and that was not a good thing. So So I'm just trying to move it out of the way. Oh, it's good now. All right. No, it isn't actually. Randomize screen. So let's move this a little bit over in this direction so we don't accidentally delete it. Okay. So we've got a forever move with map. This is what's keeping your robots in line with the big map so that when we move, they don't keep moving closer to us when we're running away from them because we're on this giant virtual map that's thousands of pixels across. See my earlier lessons if you want to get caught up on that. So the way we're going to tell if we're dying, you could do it with a touch, but we're actually going to do it if he gets a certain distance away from us. We'll say he's touched us. Now you can tweak this a little bit. I've got it to a distance of 20 pixels, which works pretty nicely, but you can change this number around. So let's grab an if statement. We'll go to our control blocks. We're going to grab an if statement here and pop it in. So I'm going to say if distance to astronaut, so we need two things. We need to check that we're close to the astronaut, and we can check that we haven't already died. So I have another variable kind of like can shoot that I call vaporize, and basically we're gonna start off this animation that takes a while. We're gonna turn white and then we're gonna slowly disappear, and we're gonna code that next actually. But before we do that, we have to make sure that we're not triggering this over and over again, because if we just say if I'm close to the astronaut, trigger that, it'll keep triggering it over and over again as long as that evil robot is left alive. So we have to make it so that we can only trigger it once, just like the can shoot variable, okay? So let's, inside our if statement, we did an and now. So let's go to our operators, and we will add an and. And the first thing we're going to need is we have to say how far are we from the astronaut. So distance to is actually a sensing command. I've got the wrong ones here. So this is just a different way to code this, and I just wanted to show you a different way to do the same thing. So rather than checking to see if we're touching, we're checking to see how close the robots are to us. So we need, let me grab this one that says distance to. I can't pop it in there yet because I need a less than sign first. So let's go back to our operators. And in the first slot here, we'll put a less than sign, which is the one with the arrow pointing to the left. There we go. And we're going to go if distance to mouse pointer is less than 20. And we need an equal sign here because we need to see if our vaporized is equal to 0 if we haven't been vaporized yet. So let's grab an equal. We'll pop it in this hole. My code's overlapping here a little bit. It's not a big deal though. So we're going to change that to a 0. And we're going to go find that variable called vaporized. And we're going to pop it in the hole. So this again will just make sure that we can't get vaporized more than once. You wouldn't want to get killed twice. That would be extra painful. All right. So if we've been shot, the first thing we want to do is set that vaporized variable to 1. So we're going to go set vaporized to 1, and that'll stop us from accidentally triggering another death. And then we're going to broadcast something called player dead. And inside that, we're going to switch vaporized back to 0 again. Once we're done dying, we'll switch it back to 0 so that we can die again the next round. So we have to send that message over from the robot to the astronaut. We're going to do that with an event, a broadcast. This is the way we talk between sprites in Scratch, of course, because there's very few other ways to send messages from one sprite to another. So we're going to go, oh, broadcast is not a control, it's under event. Sorry, I was in the wrong place. So we're going to broadcast a message, new message, and that message is called, or actually, do we already have a player dead in there? Let me just double check so that I don't do it twice. No, we don't have a player dead. So we're going to say player dead. And now we can have our cat, or sorry, not our cat, our astronaut listening for that message. Okay. So we are done with this bit of code, and now we have to jump back over to the astronaut. Let me save my file now in case anyone's fallen behind. Grab a sip of coffee, and then we can get going here. So I don't need this can shoot code that I have from in the astronaut because I moved it over to my bullet. I'm just going to drag this to the trash can now that I'm shooting for sure. I don't need it anymore. All right. So that's our robot. Let's go back to our astronaut now. And now we can do the code that says we got killed, which is right here. So when I receive player dead, let's go back to the astronaut. All my code's way over here. So we'll go, actually we can leave it up here where it's a little bit blank. So we're gonna go when I receive player dead. We're just gonna start playing some sounds and animations and stuff here. So the first thing we're gonna do is play this sound here that's called player dies. We won't be able to hear it, I don't think, because my sound is dead. So I actually recorded my own voice and used a program called Audacity, which is an audio editor, and I combined it with a bunch of other stuff. But I made kind of a mechanical being killed by robot sound, and then I went, ah, and had it fade away to nothing. So that's what the player dies sound has done. It was actually designed by me. And I'm sorry I can't demo it for you guys, but if you're working on the project at home, you should be able to hear it. And we're going to play that sound as soon as we die here. So let's go to our sound settings here. Sound. And we're going to go start sound. Player dead. Player dies. There we go. Now, we're going to do a bunch of graphical stuff that's going to make it look like we die here. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to start shaking my character. He's going to go like that, like he's dying. So we're going to go grab a repeat block. Let's go to Control. We'll repeat. You can set this to a different number if you want. I picked 7 times to shake. I just thought it looked good. And what we're going to do is first we're going to have him shake a little to the left and a little bit up, and then we'll have him shake a little bit to the right and a little bit down or something like that. And we're just going to have it happen very, very quickly. Now, if you have stuff happen all at once inside Scratch, like if I tell it move up, move down, it will happen so quickly that you won't even see it. So we're going to use a little Scratch trick to have it happen super fast, but not have it happen simultaneously. And the way to do that is to tell it to wait for 0 seconds. Now that sounds like it wouldn't do anything, but it actually will delay it by the tiniest amount of time so that it'll shake back and forth without any kind of delay at all. So first we're going to tell it to move up. So we're going to go to our movement commands, motion. And we're going to grab these. So we're going to be playing with these ones here that say change X and change Y. They're a little bit down here. There's a couple of them, and we're going to be using all the change X and change Y. So let's grab a change X, and we'll pop it in there. And then we'll grab a change Y, and we'll pop it in there. And so we'll just change this by 1. We'll change X by 1, and we'll change Y by -1. And then we will wait 0 seconds. I'm just going to duplicate these 2 blocks right now. So I'm going to want this block repeated. And in between these 2 blocks, I'm going to put a wait 0 seconds. And so the second, okay, I don't want to get too fast for you guys here. So inside the middle here, we'll put wait 0 seconds. And then we can put the opposite numbers here. So we'll go -1 for this and +1 for that. Okay, so we can see that right away what that's going to look like by making our screen a little bit bigger. And you can click on this when I receive, and you'll see your character will start to shake a little bit. It's hard to see on that screen. When I maximize, I won't be able to click on it though, so there's not much I can do to show that to you right now. So it'll just shake your character around a little bit, and then once we're done shaking, we're going to make ourselves turn white. So, oh, actually, there was supposed to be a wait 0 after the second one as well. This is, so when it loops around again, it's not going to show the shaking properly again here. So I'm going to put a second wait 0 in here, and that should look a little bit better. Let's look at it again. Yeah, that looks like he's shaking a bit now. All right. The next thing I want is we're going to grab a repeat 10 times. And inside there, we're going to change our brightness effect by 10. So we're going to start at 0 brightness, and then we're going to make it so bright that we can't even see the astronaut anymore. He's just going to turn totally white. So let's go to our looks menu. And we'll go change. We're going to grab this one here that says change color effect. We're going to pop it in the hole and have it change its brightness effect by 10. And we're also going to change our ghost effect to make us fade away here. So right after this, We're going to grab another repeat 10. So let's go to our control blocks. We're going to grab another repeat 10 here. And we're going to change it to 20 because we want them to fade away slowly. And so now back to our looks menu. And in there, we're going to change our color effect again. But we're going to change it to ghost. And so we need our ghost effect at 0. We're fully visible, which is the way that it defaults to. So we're going to have it slowly fade away. We want it to go up to 100. So 5 times 20 is equal to 100. That'll bring us all the way up to invisible. And then we can wait a little bit. I'm going to tell it to wait 2 seconds, which we just want it to wait enough time for that sound effect to finish playing, that me screaming and fading away. And then we can stop the program. So I've set this program up without multiple lives. You only have 1 life, and that makes it a little more horrifying. I just wanted to make a game that was super scary where you were freaked out. And so the object is going to be to stay alive as long as you can. And some of these games are not going to last more than 5 seconds or so. Okay, I've just saved my save file here in case anyone's falling behind. Yeah, so if you guys want to implement a live system for this game, I think you should know how to do it by now. We've been doing a lot of coding. Let's just give this a little test and make sure that it's okay. I'm sorry that you can't hear the audio effect, but you should be able to hear it at home. So let's click the play button here and wait for some robots to come. So I'm going to shoot the first one, the first 2. Whoa! And I died right away. Something is wrong. So here come the robots. And I die right away. I think the problem is that my robot is spawning right on top of me. The spawner, the original robot that I used to spawn the other ones, I'm moving him back to a position where he's on top of me, and then he is moving around the screen. That was probably a mistake. I'm not sure why we planned it that way in the code, because that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm going to find the spot inside the code here where the original zombie starts, or sorry, the original evil robot goes right here. It keeps telling him to go back to 0, 0, right? And then randomize the position. I'm going to tell him not to go to 0, 0. Maybe I can set him to, let's tell him to set to an X of 30 or something. We should just move him off a little bit so that he's not touching. Let me just check and make sure whether that is the bug that I think that it is. So we'll let the zombie touch me, or we'll do what we did before. We'll test the game, have a zombie, we'll shoot him, and then, yeah, I'm not dying. Oh, I did die. Oh, so we've got something happening here that's making us die. It's not, let me maximize or increase the size of this window. We'll make the invisible robot visible now. So I'm going to tell my master robot not to hide. I just want to double check and make sure he's not touching me, because something invisible is killing me, and I have a feeling it's this master robot who's making the clones. So let's have a look at him here and see what he does while I'm playing the game. See if he appears on top of me. So here come my killer robots. No. So something is killing me. So I'm going to take a little break right now, and maybe my crew can help me figure out what this little code bug is, and then we can come right back and I'll let you know. All right, anybody at home have any idea what's going on here? So I'm dying for no reason here. I think I've done something fairly obvious in the code, and I need to figure it out. So maybe you guys in my studio audience can help me out with this. So let's shrink this a bit. So he is doing his dead animation. So
might be distance to mouse pointer, so it's distance from the mouse pointer.
Oh, it's not distance to mouse pointer, it's distance to astronaut. Hold it. So where did I put that? It was inside the
player Y change by the when I start as a clone.
Under the randomize edge position. If distance to distance to mouse pointer. Ugh. Okay, distance to astronaut is what it should say. I should have changed that. Excellent work. Was that Avi or Kian who said that? It was Avi. Good work, buddy. You are turning into a really awesome troubleshooter here. I am super impressed. I want the whole internet to know that Avi is doing an excellent job helping me troubleshoot these things. You know, when you're doing these things live and explaining it, sometimes you just forget a step, and I don't have my head in the game because I'm busy thinking of the next thing I want to tell you guys. So it really helps to have an eagle-eyed person looking at my code and figuring out what's going on here. Let's look at this one more time and just make sure it's still working. So here's my robot. Shoot. Yeah, I'm not dying yet. Okay, so let's wait and see if he touches me. There we go. Death. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, so that worked perfectly. Excellent work, Avi. You rocked it.
You forgot to hide the master clone, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to make him hidden again. So let's drop that hide back into it again. Excellent. And so that'll take him off the map. He's going to be off on the side of the screen making new clones anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. I just thought that he momentarily popped back to the middle again to spawn a new guy. Okay, so that should be working properly now. I think we're ready to get back into it. Okay, so Helen's suggesting that I make the number a little bit less. So that it's within 5 or so. We could try that. I think that it looked okay, though. It wasn't. It didn't look like I started dying pretty much the second that they touched me. I think that 20 distance is working okay. Let me have another look at it here. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell because it takes a second for the animation to start moving and stuff. The one thing I need to do, though, is when I die as a player, I have to stop the robots from moving as well. And I think I have a bit of code inside the killer robots that says, when I receive player dead, stop the other scripts. And I'll do that right away as well to stop them from moving. Okay, so I think we're ready to go back and fix that then. So I will tell everyone at home what's going on here. All right, let's go back to my other screen. Okay, so Avi, my sharp-eyed apprentice, has figured out what the problem was. I just did something in the code that I forgot to change. And so we're down here in this, let's get back to our code again. So we're inside this when I started the clone part here where we say distance to our guy should be a little less than 20. And I had accidentally put distance to mouse pointer, and so every time I moved my mouse around, I was accidentally killing my astronaut. So just make sure we change that distance to command to a distance to astronaut, and then that will fix the bug. One more thing I wanted to do before we tested it, though, we also want our robots to stop moving once they get that dead command as well. So we could even put that in here, a broadcast player dead. And yeah, so right under here, we're going to add something that says stop. So we're under control. We're going to grab this block that says stop all, and we're going to change it to stop other scripts in the sprite. And that will stop the robots from moving. Once you're dead, they should kind of freeze in place. Their mission is accomplished, right? So there we go. And so now let's test this out. We'll maximize our screen. We'll shoot our first zombie. Not zombie, robot. Okay, we'll shoot our first robot. And then we'll let the second guy touch us. So here we go. And you see how he freezes when I die now, and now I'm dying properly. All right, beautiful. Okay, so we are done with the robots, boys and girls. I don't think there's any other code in here inside the robot that we need. There is no more code. Well, there's one more piece of code inside the astronaut that I wanted to get going as well, and I wish I could play this for you guys, but there's actual game music that I have set up here. I grabbed this off of Wii Video. I found a really neat music track that I thought would work. I searched up Sci-Fi or something like that and looked at a whole bunch of different tracks and found a really awesome one that I think will work nicely with this game. So we're going to just get a loop going here in our astronaut. Let's go back to our astronaut because he's where the sound is contained. And we'll just go when green flag clicked. So let's go under our events. And we're just going to start a loop where it just keeps playing this music track forever and ever. So I want this separate so it doesn't interfere with the timing of our other stuff, because it's going to be busy playing this music. And of course we need to put a play music until done command here, otherwise it'll just start playing the music and go da 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 over and over again, which is not good. We want it to play through the whole thing. Let me save my file here. There we go. And now I'm good to go. So you will not be able to hear this, but if you play your game, you'll be able to hear the creepy sci-fi music. I have no idea why my Google Chrome is muted today, but I'm just going to learn to live with it. All right. So we are done with the astronaut. There is no more code to add to the astronaut. We are getting to the end here. It's 10.
You put start sound.
Oh, I did. Thank you, Avi, my sharp-eyed apprentice. There again. That's 3 times today you bailed me out today. Play sound theme music until done. Okay. Excellent. So those are the kind of things that I'm happy to have my studio audience interrupt me for. So you guys on Discord, if I make a mistake and I do something that's obviously wrong, go ahead and stop me. I don't mind if the audience at home hears it. You're here to help out, and that was a fantastic thing. Avi, you are going to go places in this organization. You are doing excellent work for me. All right, so now we're just cleaning up some extra little details in the game. We've got the basic mechanic of the game going. We've got our player going. We've got our map moving around. We've got our robots coming up and killing us. Now, we need to deal with the problem of running out of ammo. We only have 5 bullets, and that is not going to work very well. So let's go to our ammo box. I've created a cool nuclear ammo box here. I modified the original one from the zombie version of this game. By the way, the zombie version of the game is available now on my lessons page, which is, let me just zip quickly over to that. That is over on this tab here. So I've added a little link here that says, check out Jeffrey's unfinished zombie hunter variant of this project. So this is the same game, but with PG rated zombie graphics in it, meaning a little bit of blood and zombies and stuff like that. So not for little kids, but if you guys want to play with it, you can check out that version of the game. I'm not going to show it online, as I said, because it's not really suitable for very young children, but it's there if you're interested in it. It's not horrible. It's just cartoonish violence, PG rated stuff. So if you're interested, Jeffrey's game isn't finished. It doesn't have sound effects, and there's a few other things that aren't working in it. But if you look at the code here and download some sound effects, you should be able to do a zombie version quite easily. I will not show the zombie version on my stream, though, so if you remix it, I'm not going to show it, guys, just so that you know. Okay, back to the code. Okay, guys, so we're ready to work on our nuclear-powered ammo box, so let's get to it. I already have a block of code here that says reset ammo. I just took the trouble of doing that for you. So this is another complicated thing. This is just a little bit of code that tells the ammo box that when you land on it, it has to go back to a new random direction. There's some trigonometry in here, and the reason why we use it is a little bit confusing, and this is a little bit above your grade level, guys, but I'm using these trigonometry functions, cosine and sine, so that I can find an XY coordinate that's off the screen. I can't tell it to go to the X coordinate 5,000 or the Y coordinate 2,000 or whatever, because that doesn't work inside Scratch. So I had to use some tricky trigonometry to figure out where the XY coordinate or this random position would be, and then turn it into a spot on the map. It's complicated, but the idea is when you're running around looking for an ammo box, you're going to have to go 4 or 5 screens over to find it. And that means that we have to place it, well, 1,500 pixels away from our starting position at least. And so we needed a little bit of complicated code. I don't want you guys to have to worry about that, so I just made it for you. Okay, let's go grab a green flag here. When green flag clicked. And so we have a variable here called ammo X and another one called ammo Y, and that will tell us where our ammo box is going to be. So let's, at the beginning, we'll initialize those both to 0. So this is where these guys are located. Ammo X and ammo Y is where our ammo box is going to be. Then we're going to use that reset ammo. So as soon as we plunk it in the middle, we're going to send it back out to the edge of the screen, 1,500 pixels away from where it was originally, right off the edge of the Scratch screen. Then we're going to grab a forever. And inside there, we're going to, so we want to position this guy in relation to where our character is. Because the screen is infinite, we just have to have it know where it is compared to where our player is. So our player has a position on the map called player X and player Y, and we're going to set it in relation to that. So let's grab a set X command. We're going to go to motion. And we're going to go set X to... Now we need to do some subtraction in here. So let's grab a minus sign, which is here under operators. It's the second one down under the multiplication symbol. So we're going to set X to the ammo location minus the player Y location. Now, you're not going to see your ammo box move around on the screen. It's going to stick to the edge of the screen, basically, but you're not going to be able to get closer to it until your own XY gets closer to it. So, sorry, I dropped this into the wrong spot. Oh, no, it is in the right spot. So, set X to, it's ammo X minus player X. So, we're going to go ammo X. Whoop. Oh, darn it, I put it in the wrong place here. So, ammo X minus player X, and that will position the ammo in relation to our player in a random direction. And now we also need to set our Y coordinate the same way. I'm just going to, I don't think I can change this, eh? All right. So let's go grab a block here that says set Y. I should have done both these at once. Set Y. And back to our variables again, and we're going to do it exactly the same way. Actually, we need to grab another minus sign. Oh, you know what? I can duplicate this, pop it in this hole. So it's going to be ammo minus player Y. I will save my file again in case anyone's fallen behind. All right. So now we need to drop some code inside this forever loop here that says if the bullet, if the ammo box is touching the edge of the screen, we need it to check whether it's actually on the screen or whether it's off the screen, because it's going to stick to the edge. Yes, Avi?
It says ammo.
Yeah. Oh, it should say ammo X and ammo Y. I am just not paying attention today, guys. So we need ammo X. Thanks again, Avi, for saving my butt.
You're welcome.
Ammo X, ammo Y. It must be Friday. My brain's just not sharp today, guys. All right. So there we go. Set X to ammo X minus player X, ammo Y minus player Y. That's perfect. Okay. So now we need to see if we need to check and see if we're touching the edge of the screen. And that's basically determining whether... Okay. So as we get closer to the thing, eventually we're going to get to the point where the ammo box is actually on the screen. Right now it's way off, 1,500 pixels off the edge of the screen, right? And it's just appearing here because we can't actually place it off the screen. When we get close enough that we can see it on the screen, then different stuff is going to happen. We're going to be able to start moving it towards it, and it's going to not go on the screen. So we have to alert Scratch to the fact that things have changed here. So I need to put an if statement here, and inside here I'm going to put touching edge. So let's go to our senses. Touching edge. So if it's touching, and this is an if-else statement. I did that mistake again. Let's go grab a if-else statement rather than if statement. At least I noticed it before I got too far this time. If-else. So if it's touching the edge, we're just going to change a variable around. We're going to go set variable. And we're going to set that variable called, there's a new variable called ammo on screen. So we're going to leave it set to 0 if it's touching the edge. But once it's not touching the edge anymore, once we're actually moving towards it, we're going to go set ammo on screen to 1. And so that's just going to tell our software whether we're actually able to touch it or not. So ammo on screen to 1. And then later on when we collide with it, we'll know that we're actually colliding with it because that variable will be changed to 1. Okay, and so we're going to do that right now. We're going to do our if touching astronaut. So right underneath the else statement, we're going to grab one more if statement, and this is an actual if statement. So if touching astronaut, let's go to our senses. Touching. Whoa. Everything's a little sluggish today for me. If touching astronaut, which would mean we grab the ammo box. We're going to do a few things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go find a coin sound. You can't play it here, of course. But let's go start that sound, and that'll just give us a little audio feedback that we actually did land on it. So we'll go to our sounds menu, a little further down here. Start sound coin. And we're gonna give ourselves some ammo now. Now I'm gonna make it so that we get 5 more bullets. If you want to make the game easier, you can make the ammo box have 10 bullets in it if you wanted to. So we're gonna go, change ammo. We don't want to set it to a number. We want to add to the ammo that's here. So change ammo by 5. You could put a random number in here too. You could have a different number of bullets for every ammo thing if you want to add some interest to the game. It's all the way that you want. And once we've grabbed the ammo, we can set it back to another new random location on the map. So we're going to grab that my blocks command that says reset ammo, and that will send our new ammo box to a brand new location. All right. And I think that's actually all we need to do to make this work. So let's give it a test, and then we'll take one more little break, and then we'll finish up the last couple of bits and pieces of this game here. All right, let's go green flag. So I'm going to move around the screen here, and I'm going to go find my ammo box. I do not know where the ammo box is, and the reason for that is because this arrow that's going to guide us to our next ammo box isn't working yet. So I'm going to run around randomly, but we can't actually test this because our ammo box is in a random location. Okay, good to know. So we'll have to clean that up a little bit in just a second. All right, I'm going to save it again. You guys are all good at home still? All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to do the arrow now, and then we're going to add the flashlight effect. And there's also some stuff here that is supposed to change our animation around here. Where is that inside our astronaut? I forgot that he's not being animated the way that he's supposed to. Wow, so we're running really late here, guys. I've got 4 more big blocks of code to do. Everyone's good? All right. Okay, guys, so it looks like our ammo box is probably working, but I can't find it, and that's the problem. We're on this huge map, so in order to actually find the ammo box, what we're going to have to do is use this little red arrow that I have set up, and we're going to have it rotate around to tell us where the next ammo box is. So let's start coding that right now. So I'm going to go over to sprite 1 right over here, which is our little red arrow. It's blank right now, so we'll just do some quick code in here. Let's go to our events. We'll go grab a green flag. Oh, let me go. Sorry, I'm going to get back to my live stream. So as I said, we're inside sprite 1, which is this little red arrow. Let's go grab a green flag. We'll bump up the size and minimize our screen here again, so everyone at home can see the code. All right. So the first thing, we want this to be 1 level above the map. We want the robots to be able to walk on top of it, basically, right? We don't want it to be on top of the robots. So we're going to do that using that trick we used yesterday as well. We're going to go to our looks commands here. We're going to tell it to go to the back. So I'm going to grab this one here that says go to front layer, and I'm going to drag it over here and change it to say go to back layer, and then have it go forward 1 layer, and that will bring it just in front of the backdrop, and that should work perfectly. All right, now let's grab a forever, And inside there, we want to tell this arrow to stay in the middle. It's already in the middle right now. Its location is 0, 0. It doesn't look like it because, oh, it's at 22, 20. Huh. I wonder if that'll, I don't think we, yeah, let's tell it to go to the middle. I'm pretty sure this is set up properly. Let's go to 0, 0. All right. And we're going to tell it to point. So we're going to tell that arrow to rotate. Let me show you the graphic for this costume. So here it is. It's right set towards the middle. I think it should be offset a little bit. We might have to move this in a second. And so it's going to rotate around to continuously point at wherever the current ammo box is. I think it should be a little bit transparent too. I'm going to go to my looks menu and set a ghost effect in here. It's going to make it transparent. I think that would look a little bit cooler. It should be visible, but it shouldn't be super obnoxious, right? So we're going to set our ghost effect to 50%. And I think that's going to look better in the game. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, and it's offset from my player. It's on top of my player. So we have to do a little tweak to the costume to make it so that it's not underneath my player's feet. And so here's my object. The middle of the screen is this little dot here that you should be able to see, this one here. So if I place it away from the dot, what's going to happen is it's going to rotate. I have it twice here. Okay, when it rotates, it's going to rotate in a circle around this point. And it's going to pretend that it's this long and start to rotate around it. So if I move this away a little bit, let's look in our game at where it is. And now when I click the green flag, there it is. It's transparent, and it should be pointing at the next ammo box. And it's still not, eh? There's something missing here. Let's go have a look at our code. Yeah, we're not done with this yet anyway. Okay, so we're going to go to 0, 0. It's at least positioned properly. It's a little bit away from our guy. In a second, we're going to have it point towards our guy. So let's go to our motion blocks here. We'll tell it, we'll grab this command here that says point towards mouse pointer. I'm going to put it underneath, but we don't want to point towards the mouse pointer. We want to point towards the ammo box. Here's our ammo box. And, oh, I see what Jeffrey did. He actually had it move at this point to move away from the character. But the way that I set it up here should work as well. I just came up with a different way of doing this. Let's double check this. We'll green flag. And that should now be pointing towards the ammo box. Let's go over and see if we can get to the ammo box. Whoa! I just deked away from this guy. And there it is, you see? Ding! I got my first ammo. And now I'm pointing it. So you see, it still looks like it's at the edge of the screen, but we don't get closer to it as we walk until... Whoa! Oh, I died. Okay. We should probably add something to make me stop moving when I die. I'm going to let you guys figure that part out yourself because we're running late here. Okay, so that's all working. And now we just need one other little bit of code that's going to make sure that that ammo box is hidden if it's off the screen. So, though it's going to be hidden behind something anyway, let's do it just to be safe in case the layering order gets messed up here. So let's grab an if statement. We're going to say if ammo on screen equals 1. So that's where that ammo on screen variable comes in. It's going to make it visible. Otherwise, it's going to be invisible if it's not on screen. We'll go down to our variables. We'll say ammo on screen. Oh, that's why we added that ammo on screen variable. So if it's equal to 1, and again, it was an if else. Darn it. This is like my #1 mistake that I make when I'm teaching Scratch. You guys who've been with me for a few weeks will know that instead of putting if-else statements on the screen, I always get them confused with if statements. Okay, so we'll drag this into an if-else statement. So really, we're just going to toggle back and forth between two different settings here, visible and invisible. So we'll go show or high. So if ammo on screen is equal to 1, we're going to, he says if ammo on screen is equal to 1, we hide, and then we show the other way. Let's check that out. That sounds a little suspicious to me, but let's try it out. So green flag. Yeah, and it's invisible now. No, it's visible. No, yeah, it was a mistake in the codes. Let's flip that around. So we're going to show it if ammo is on screen and hide it if it's off screen. That makes a lot more sense to me. Let's play the game. And when I do, that little ammo box should disappear, and it's not. Okay, a little bug. Not worth interrupting our play for. And our arrow has disappeared as well. Where did our arrow go? Oh, there it is. Oh, so our arrow is only appearing if we're close. Oh! I got confused here. So the red arrow is supposed to disappear if the ammo is visible on the screen. We don't need the arrow anymore. Ugh. I didn't even know what I was coding here, guys. I'm sorry about that. It didn't make sense to me. So when we move close... All right, this is making more sense now. Where the ammo doesn't have to be invisible because it's going to be hidden. I killed myself here. So the ammo is going to be hidden behind... I'm going to try to keep alive here. I'll just shoot if anyone appears in front of me. So as soon as we get on the screen, as we reach the ammo, the arrow disappears because we don't need it anymore. Of course, that makes perfect sense. I just got momentarily confused there. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're doing great here. I'm going to get this can shoot variable off my screen while I'm tidying things up here because we don't need that anymore. The only variable we need to see on the screen here is going to be ammo, of course, so that we know how much ammo we have. Okay, almost done. 2 more things to do. We just need to add the dark, creepy element to this game, which is the flashlight element. Now, it's actually 2 pieces, and I'm going to show you why, guys. So let's start with the flashlight beam. So it's the second one, the one that's shaped a little bit like a cone. That's what we're going to go to. So let's go right in there. I'm going to go when green flag click. So you can actually make this visible now. I left it invisible while I was coding the game, and you can see that because it's tilted on an angle, it doesn't cover up the entire screen. And that's really annoying. So you cannot draw an object inside Scratch that will cover the whole screen if you rotate it 360 degrees. There's just no way to do it. And that's why we need a second sprite here that's shaped like a circle, and that will cover up the bits that we don't want anyone to see. So once I make this visible, now our screen is totally dark, right? Let's go back to our flashlight. We're going to add when green flag clicked. So we need our flashlight to be able to swing around, right? So that whenever we turn, the flashlight turns with us. So let's tell it to go to back to the middle of the screen, no matter where it is. We're going to anchor it at go to 0, 0. We're going to tell it to be in the front layer, because that absolutely should be in front of everything, or stuff's going to appear on top of the flashlight, which would be no good. So go to front layer. And then we're just going to tell it to constantly keep pointing towards my mouse pointer. So we'll go forever, point towards my mouse pointer. So it will spin around and keep facing whichever direction my mouse is pointing on the screen, and then I'll be able to navigate my mouse around, to navigate my flashlight around. This is going to turn the game into something super creepy, guys. Watch this. Now we're actually wandering around in the dark, trying to avoid robots. Ah! How creepy is this now? And you see the flashlight spins around. Really cool. What do you guys think of that? I think that's a really neat function. So we've been dying to make a game with a flashlight for a while. Jeffrey has been wanting to do this for a bit, and so that's one of the reasons we were happy to do a zombie game. All right, and that's about it for the coding. There's a little bit I wanted to add to this black thing that just told it to go stay at the front and go to the middle. So let's just go when green flag clicked. So we're programming the circle now. We're just going to tell it go to the front and go to 0, 0. Just to make sure nothing gets accidentally dragged around and that the layer order stays right. We'll go to our looks menu, say go to front. And that, my friends, is the Zombie Hunter game. We are done. So, sorry, not Zombie Hunter, Robot Hunter. Remember, you can play the zombie version of the game if you're interested. I think this is a really cool game. There's lots more additions you could add. You could definitely change the graphics around if you want to. You could add a splash screen, a title screen. You could change the ammo system around a little bit. You could change the weapon around, change the graphics for the weapon. There's lots of things you can do to customize this. So have fun with this. If you are interested in remixing this game for me, remember that I have a remix room set up. You can find the link to it on my lessons page. Just click on remix challenge here. Click on the remix room and it will take you back to my remix room where I will be showing any of your remixes that you want on Monday. I will, or maybe Tuesday as well, since some of you guys are watching this on Monday. I will be showing your remix of this game, so I'm looking forward to it. Had fun building this game. On Monday, we're going to go back to basics with a really simple rock, paper, scissors game, so looking forward to it, guys. See you then.